Hello.
Happy Thursday, y'all.
It is. Happy pre-Friday.
I'm Johnny.
And I'm Colleen.
And this is the Keel Quest. Or
are.
the Cool Quest. Or Cool in the Game.
Or the cool kids.
Either way.
That's right. Welcome to Backcountry Couples.
Episode 4.
It is episode 4.
Halfway
I know.
to 8.
Yep. So stop it.
Get out of here.
Hope everybody had a good couple of weeks. We missed you last Thursday.
Yeah, we were hoping to have a trickle of signal out on the trail, but where we were at, we were too deep in the woods. And
yeah, we had nothing. So
nothing. Not even a little.
Right on. So as you know, we were up in the Upper Peninsula in northern Michigan.
Yeah.
And we hiked Pictured Rocks, the 42-plus mile trail. Am I like hogging?
No kidding.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, that's better.
Anyways, yeah. So it was really awesome to have an opportunity to go and hike that.
Beautiful.
And we are going to tell everybody all about it. I mean, a lot of people in the chat right now have already actually hiked it. We've, gone from them. So Tri Duty, there is Carlson. They were up there. They did it as well. So yeah, but it was also Halloween. We saw some people's fun costumes, and I want to say that Snack Box and Details with the Yogi Bear and
on the picnic
Cindy
basket
and their new little baby in the picnic basket was very special. That was outside the box.
Well, backcountry paddler.
Oh my gosh, Backcountry Paddler. Everybody had these fun little costumes. It was so cute.
I was dressed up as a hiker.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
I was a northern trekker.
I know. We did it. It was awesome. So cool. So, but thanks for tuning in this week. Whoa, what happened, honey?
Oh.
Hello.
Focus. Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Hang on. I'll just keep talking.
You can just keep talking.
Yeah,
pretty.
I was just going to, thanks, honey. I was going to say, what happened there, love? There we go. We're good.
All right.
And sorry that your Thursdays were dull, but we're back at it again. And Backcountry Couples. So here we go. I'm excited. And what is a backcountry couple? Yeah, it is.
You're looking at it.
That's right. So it is a couple. It's a duo. Again, not necessarily somebody is romantically involved, but a duo that perhaps have a business. Or just a collaboration.
Good friends.
Right. That it is, yeah. Or a couple of friends, right, that just get together and enjoy the backcountry. So on that note, if you know a backcountry couple, or if you are a backcountry couple, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
message us here on Instagram,
right
YouTube.
On. Yep.
Or of course you
can just shoot us an email too, right?
Shoot us an email.
Yeah, you can do that as well. And
right here.
The exciting thing is we just have one more space left in December, and we've already started booking into January. So it's exciting. So we got a lot of diversity and some fun action with the couples that are out there.
The snowballs are rolling. So
we thank you for that, and thanks for your interest, and thanks for wanting to hang out.
And as we're doing thanks, we always like to thank our primary and only sponsor of this show. It was McKenrick Fire Starters.
Right on.
So McKenrick
John has these right here.
Is a all natural, no harmful chemicals, no wood byproducts made fire starter.
They're compact. They're lightweight. We always take them on our backpacking trips. They're waterproof, so we take them on our canoeing. Yes. Right. Reliable.
They burn for 20 minutes.
They are, and they are handcrafted in the Pacific Northwest. So that's really cool. The other thing is it's behind us, honey. That's behind right. Us. So we do have a code that you can use.
So if you are interested. Oh,
I know. Do you want to tell me the other thing first?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell the other thing first. Okay. So anyways, if you want to
I forgot about that.
If you want to get any McKenricks or any McKenrick swag, so stickers, shirts, stuff like that, go to McKenrickFires.com.
Yep.
But a new product just hit the shelves.
I know.
This November 1st.
I know. I'm so excited. So they did an Applewood smoked coffee. So handcrafted again. Excited for that.
I think Patrick made it himself.
I know. 100% he did.
Totally. I mean, it's like smoked coffee beans.
So I know that Jason from All Terrain Coffee and Camping just did a quick little video on there and a little bit of a sneaky peek kind of reel. Ours is in the mailbox. We just have not gone to pick it up yet.
Right.
So we have to go and do that. Excited for that. So
that being said, if you guys are interested in any of the products, use the code KiloQuest. Save 15% off. Make sure you use a little space right there. And that will get you your discount when you check out.
Right on. And every couple/guest that comes on our show also receives a little gift pack. So our 3 guests tonight are going to get one of these. So excited for that, to share these out. And everybody has an opportunity to enjoy what a McWick is, right?
Absolutely.
I know. I'm excited for that.
So, hey, y'all, you like what you see? You like what you're getting? Then excellent. Make sure to come have your friends. Hit that little red button down there. It says subscribe. Ding that little bell. And
I don't know how you do that backwards all the time, but
because it's called reverse camera.
Is that what's going on? I don't know. I like that though.
My left is your right.
But hang out with us. It's fun, right?
Why not?
And usually
what better you got to do on a Thursday night?
Well, I was going to say that. And usually it is a Thursday. Last week we were backpacking. Next Thursday, I hate to tell you, but there's no show. Only because we have a family celebration and we are headed to Canada. It's a surprise. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody. Her dad's turning. Her dad's turning 80.
Oh, that'll be the day my dad tunes in, right? Anyways,
you better not.
So
then we're all screwed.
I know exactly. So no show next Thursday.
Surprise birthday party.
But you still can get your. You can still hang out with us because next Tuesday we are going to be on a live stream ourselves. So we're going to be the guests.
Oh yeah.
Right. So next Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Canoe Hound Adventures. They're out of Canada. And we will share the details up for them. But yeah, we're going to be on their show. So the tables are going to be turned. I'm excited for that. When we get the details and the link and all that kind of stuff, we will share it out. Yes. So excited.
Oh yeah. We've been wanting to come on his show for we have been on the show for other things. Yeah, but this is exclusively us.
I agree.
We're excited.
We are excited, which is really cool. And it's an opportunity to come and ask questions. So on that note, if you would like to ask anybody on our panel tonight a question,
yes. So that you have to put question all in capitals and then put your question. That way. I got a side monitor over here that I will monitor. And if I see your question, we can pull it up.
Right. And if you feel brave enough and you want to come on live, you're definitely welcome to come on up and ask a question live, which will be good.
The questions and stuff like that will be a little bit later part of the show here. So
Right.
We got a lot of stuff to go through. Okay.
So the other thing I do want to say is we had not. Does anybody know what a McWick is? I know we talked about it. We got to show our little video.
Yes.
Let's show the video, honey, because I love that.
Yes.
I know, it's so good. Beautiful. And
awesome.
We're already starting to plan our trips for next year or the rest of this year and next year. So hopefully we can
here we go.
Get in on some of the fun stuff there. Come on.
That was very cool.
They're just so cool. I love it.
I know. That Patrick's team does.
And they do an amazing job. So, also tonight, not only is it a special edition and update, is our 3 guests tonight have donated stickers, patch, and we're going to do obviously McWick and some KK swag, and we're going to do a giveaway tonight. So I'm excited for that. Probably a little bit later on in the show, and let's get going. I'm excited for this.
All right, darling, without further ado.
I know. All right. Are you ready? Here we go. So this is an update show, right?
I will do it then. It's gonna take forever. Come on.
It's the update show. 8 months ago, Layla Grace, who is the VP and coordinator of the American Perimeter Trail, reached out to us and said, "Hey, love the backcountry couples thing. We're not a together like romantic thing, but we are a couple who have supported each other in this amazing creation called the American Perimeter Trail." And we were just like, what a great idea, because it was thinking outside the box, and which we hadn't done. And we had a great conversation with Rue and Layla about the who, what, when, why, how of the APT.
Yeah,
well,
you know me.
So so much has developed in 8 months. Like, it's time to share what the next step is. And we're gonna do it tonight with Rue McKenrick and friends. So Rue McKenrick is an American long distance backpacker and exec director of the American Perimeter Trail, which is a 14,000-mile trail that circumnavigates the contiguous U.S., seeking to connect the land, resources, people, and communities. So we want to welcome Rue McKenrick from the APT.
Hey, Rue.
Hi.
Hello.
So good to be back here and to see both of you again.
Nice to see you.
Congratulations.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, thank you so very much. I don't know if it's still really sunk in, because it feels like there's so much work to do that there'll be more celebrations, and the one that I had was a nice opportunity to share that with some people all over the country and in our membership in other countries, and do it virtually. And I look forward to being able to see more faces in person this year post-pandemic.
Exciting.
Awesome.
It is. So we're kind of sad though, because Layla Grace couldn't join us tonight, but I think she's going to be hopping around in the chat if she has an opportunity to. So she will be greatly missed, obviously. So, but before we get rolling, like John said, congratulations on connecting the final footsteps, those final miles. Like, that's just crazy.
They didn't come easy. It never got easier.
Right. So for everybody who kind of wanted a quick little kind of a catch-up kind of thing on what has happened and kind of where we're at right now, we want to share with you a video and documentary, kind of little teaser that Alex Mayer and Amy Brown from Wilderness Mindset, they're working on right now. And this is just their, like I said, little teaser. And when we watched this, we were just like, it totally creates, and you can feel the connection with you instantly. So we are excited to share this. So everybody, please enjoy
this little snippet here. Loading up.
Home is where the heart is. Seeing this, it's starting to get real. And there's going to be loved ones waiting there for me. And some of them, last time I saw them was in 2019 when I started this.
Our conservation organization, the American Perimeter Trail Conference.
My home's like right over there.
Create the board of directors, create the membership. That's phase one. And then as soon as I step into Drake Park in Bend, Oregon, phase two begins. I feel alive. Sad and joy, excited and anxious. I feel love.
I can't imagine a world without this.
I don't know. I have goosebumps.
I know. Are you
Stop
guys trying to get me emotional before?
I know. I'm like tearing up. I know.
You're just pulling a Barbara Waters.
You're bringing back the 80s here. I love it. So we definitely have to think.
Yeah, that just happened, some of that footage, but
right on.
Just such a pivotal time, and it brings that back for me so fast and so quick.
Amazing. So what's happening? What's going on?
Okay, so basically I was walking the last miles into Bend, Oregon. I did that with Wilderness Mindset, like we said, Mr. Alex Meyer and Miss Amy Robin. And so they were with me. Alex was actually out there with me the whole time. Amy was with me some of the time and running support. And I walked into Bend, Oregon with them. So we were camping together. I mean, we were living together. You know, it was like,
Yeah.
and it was really special for me. I think that's why I was getting emotional there, because it was one of my favorite parts of the entire trip.
What?
And people ask me like, what was your favorite part? I'm like, the end. And they think that I meant because it's over. Like, I liked the end, but that wasn't it. I mean, actually, like when we were coming into Bend, I was ready to keep rocking. I was injured. I've been injured for like 3 weeks, but I was still having fun. And that was really probably the most, it was maybe the most time I spent with someone. I only hiked and camped with a photojournalist for a short period of time in California in 2019. And then I didn't hike with, but I camped with a reporter from Backpacker magazine in North Dakota, and then them. And that was it. That's the only people I camped with the entire trek. And one of them, like I said, I didn't even hike with. So it was a real treat for me to have the company. Just, you know, we had a great time, and got back to Bend, and I had some preliminary things that I wanted to do. I still do. But came back to Bend. We had a celebration there, and got to connect with people very quickly. And then Alex and Amy asked if I wanted to come to Montana to continue doing some work. And it was basically, I had a couple hours to make a decision. And I just got home, and I hopped in a car, and we drove halfway across the country.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm in Montana with Wilderness Mindset Productions right now.
Nice.
So that gets you up to speed as far as like my personal ventures.
Right.
You know,
right.
Yeah.
Go.
I mean, and then this week, I'm not sure where I'm going to be this week. I'm being completely honest.
Okay.
I have some ideas.
Okay.
Michigan is one of them.
Okay. Should I clear out the spare bedroom?
You might want.
Okay.
I mean, I do just fine under a tarp, but you know.
Gotcha. That's all good. Very cool. So, American Perimeter Trail.
Mm-hmm.
It's stage 2, step 2. It's the next level. It's how do you want to say it, kind of thing. Like, what is next now for the American Perimeter Trail?
Yeah, just to clarify, like before I ever left Bend, I didn't have any of this in place, but I had a dream and some semblance of like what I wanted to accomplish during the trek. And so phase 1 was essentially hike the trail, and get a website, get a way to contributions, and then form the actual nonprofit, the 501c, which is the American Perimeter Trail Conference. Form the board, make a way so that there was a pathway to membership, and then hike the trail. And that kind of just brings us to here. So phase 2 for, when I stepped into Bend, phase 2 kind of started. I was hoping there was going to be some rest time in there. I'll get a little bit here and there, but there's much work to be done. And in fact, this part, I think this part might be more difficult than the actual backpacking, even though I had to do all that stuff on the fly over the years. It just is, I don't know, it was smaller and more singular. So this is like a lot more expansive, and I'm getting into more territories that are new for me. So, I'm having to bring in some more people, lots of people, lots of help needed. So, phase 2 for us is like, first of all, we're doing some media right now. So we're trying to inform people about what just happened. And we're telling them some stories about the hike and the backpack. As you know, there are many. I could talk for an entire day straight without taking a breath just to get part of what happened out there. And some of that stuff hasn't been spoken yet because it was just done. It was just me doing it by myself. So, anyways, we're doing that right now. We've made some changes on social media as part of that promotional stuff. You know, we have Anna who started a TikTok, which is out of my league. Out of my league, I don't know. And like even tomorrow, and we're doing the documentary continues, so that's going to be an ongoing process. So don't just because I'm done. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything there. Maybe next summer,
Sure.
or this upcoming summer, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and a
Right.
lot of people that still need to be interviewed for that. But then I would, part of the plan, and like I said, this is all happening in real time. So we didn't really do a lot of like forward projection because it was just important for me to get through the trail and then be where we were and see where we were and go from there. I need to rescout some of the areas. I have an idea where that's going to be, and hopefully that gives me an opportunity to do some traveling and get to meet all the people around the country that I didn't get to meet. Two of them are going to be on tonight that I talked with and, have a relationship with, but we haven't actually met in person because of the pandemic, even though I walked right past them while I was out there.
Crazy.
And so I have to grow the board and the organization a little bit and the membership, and also all those partnerships that I need to make with the different land management agencies, the handshakes I didn't get to make because of the pandemic.
Right.
So there's time to do that. And then of course, just like we will be looking for partners, not just within the trail organizations, but within the conservation world. And then also applying for appropriate monies to start kind of support the nonprofit along its mission of conservation. That is just that's a real nutshell, but in a small nutshell, trying to give you some of the ideas. I know the people from the conference right now are watching going, well, what about this and this and this and this and this?
There's so many fingers after, out from all of those little points you just listed.
There has to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's the whole way this thing gets built.
Right. And I think one of the things that you've said it 3 times already was just that it's the people you didn't get to meet. You know what I mean? Are the ones who, and those handshakes you didn't get to do, those are all going to be integral in moving forward,
yes,
totally.
And it's all about the friendships that, who doesn't love making a friend on the trail, right? I mean, it's just amazing. And these are going to be forever friends you're making on this trail, on your trail, the People's Trail, the American Perimeter Trail. This is really, really exciting.
And that speaks into more of I can talk more about this as we go on this evening, but more of the process of designing, creating the trail. I'll go into more detail with that. I'll mention here also before I forget is I'm working on the mapping process right now too.
Right.
So just a lot of, there's a lot going on.
Right on. I think we should meet the 2 people that you said you would love to, that you would have crossed paths with,
that's right?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm excited.
All right, well, let's bring them up.
So we have
Kenny from the NCT.
Yep, he's in our own backyard here of Michigan.
And then we got Nathan
from the Pinhoti.
From the Pinhoti Trail.
Yeah. So Nathan,
welcome, guys.
Yeah. Hey, hello.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right.
I appreciate y'all coming on the show tonight.
Right on. So, just quickly, Nathan is an outdoor enthusiast like everybody else, right? I mean, he's a long distance hiker. You're president of the Alabama Hiking Association or Society.
Yeah, that's right. The Alabama Hiking Trail Society.
Yeah, and then with your wife Kim, you own the Pinhoti Outdoor Center.
That's right.
Super exciting. And then Kenny is the regional trail. You have a mouthful. You are the regional trail coordinator for Michigan within the North Country Trail, right? So you're right here in Michigan. Obviously,
say that 3 times.
I can't.
Fast.
I know.
Yeah,
but you're responsible for trail management, right? Kind of chapter support, both Upper and Lower Peninsula.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So both the upper and lower. Yeah. Just dealing with the volunteers, lane managers, all that good stuff.
Right on. So hello. So Rue hiked right by you guys, gave you the wave, and then like what happened? Oh gosh. So we are.
Yeah, I think we actually met on Flag Mountain. You were there visiting with Nimblewell. I don't know if it was on your hike. I can't remember what year it was.
Oh.
But I walked through.
Oh, that's possible.
We kind of said, hey, we didn't know who each other were at the time. And we just I was at passing and we said, hey, and then after you left Nimblewell Nomad, he said, yeah, that guy's got some crazy dream about hiking all the way around the US. I said, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, we may have, because I mean, it was my stomping ground, definitely here and there over the years. So quite possible. Yeah.
So we just want to have everybody kind of share kind of what the American Perimeter Trail means to your trail, and kind of tell us about your trails first. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Ken.
All right. Yeah. So just to be honest, I was kind of thrown into this. So I just cover Michigan,
right?
Which is only 1,183 miles of the North Country National Scenic Trail. Out of we give or take 4,800 miles that we cover from Vermont to North Dakota.
Right.
So, speaking from a whole, I can't even speak for the whole entire trail. As my main focus is in Michigan. So it was kind of cool just to be a part of this conversation and to learn not too long ago about the American Perimeter Trail and, this entirety. I thought our trail was long enough, but apparently he wants to make it just multiple times longer than ours. So, it's just great to be part of this conversation. And, it looks from the map wise, involves multiple states of ours. And, if we can just be part of something larger, that's, exactly what we're just trying to do and then the word conservation coming up too. It's more than just the trail itself. It's about the landscape and the view shed and everything and conserving that all around the trail.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Absolutely. Yeah. Nathan, what about you?
Well, so the Pinhoti we don't really have an organization over the Pinhoti. It covers, about 350 miles in Alabama and Georgia. Our center is in Alabama, and I'm associated, like you said, the president of the Alabama Hiking Trail Society. So really our focus is just in Alabama. But we do support. We have a hostel here on the trail. We do all kind of logistical support, planning, shuttles at the Pinhoti Outdoor Center. But, we love being a part of the trail system. We are in the Appalachian Mountains. We're south of Springer. So you can hike the Pinhoti and connect to Springer and continue on to Katahdin and on into Canada if you wanted to. So we love being a part of those trail systems. We're on the Eastern Continental Trail. So if you're coming up from Key West to Canada, you're going to come through the Pinhoti. So when, talking with Rue and learning about the American Perimeter Trail, being a part of another big system, I think it's just wonderful. We're really excited about it. We love, seeing that opportunity. I can't wait to see how many people hike it per year. I don't know if it's a through hike every year or not, but to see that and the effort that Rue put in is just amazing. And I hadn't said it yet, Rue, but congrats on finishing this.
Agreed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wondered if Nathan, I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about the Great Eastern Trail as well, since that's come up in our discussions.
Yeah, so the Pinhoti, a portion of the Pinhoti is part of the Great Eastern Trail. I have, being my position with the Alabama Hiking Trail Society, I have a seat on the board with the GET, but through whatever over the last couple of years, I haven't had a chance to really get involved yet. We're just scheduling our meeting for this month, so hopefully I'll get more involved in the GET. But that's I love the fact that you're going to possibly use the GET as what I understand, and maybe stay away from the AT and look at a different route there. I think that trail's got a lot of potential.
And just to clarify that a little bit, I am. The Appalachian Trail is 2,000 miles long. And I am a thru hiker. And I have a lot of experience on that trail because that's my original stomping grounds. That's where I came into this planet. And so I actually never stepped foot on the Appalachian Trail during this trek. And so first of all, like, wasn't necessarily informative for the long-term project because I already had like maybe 5,000 miles on that trail backpacking, and I don't know how many hiking. So, you know, I wanted to see other routes and check other things out as I went. So, so just keeping that in mind, there are other trails that are under a lot more development or are still a concept, just like we are. And so that's some of the people that we've been looking to, the organizations we've been looking to partner with. It's more in alignment with our idea around conservation.
So that being said, then that's why you want to use more of the existing trails then too, for like less impact?
No, that's why I don't want to use some of the very impacted trails.
Already, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of so. How that plays out exactly, we shall see. Also, we look for organizations that are doing stuff that's a little bit more in alignment with our mission and our vision, which is kind of along more of the metaphorical explanation that I've given for the loop. And, you know, and just saying things like, you know, it doesn't have a beginning or an end. It's truly infinite. And so it's not a perfect circle, you know, but it is a loop. But
Right.
in the symbolism of that, before I ever started this, not in the concrete, but more in the abstract, you know, my idea was not just to connect wilderness areas, but was to connect people. And
Right.
one way that I've seen that done in different trail systems, the North Country Trail would be a good example of this, actually, where there is a lot of connection between communities and the people. I also like some of the people that I have gotten to speak with, not necessarily haven't gotten to meet or work with yet. I see how powerful their trail communities are, that they haven't been, they haven't maybe succumbed to a much greater cause, that they're possibly more regional. And I see strength in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of us, you know, we want to be pragmatic in the sense of being able to have have a route, but it's variable. You know, the APT is not just a wilderness experience. It's truly a trail American experience. So in some areas, you're going to be in absolute desolation in the wilderness. I mean, you're going to be out there. In other places, you're going to be able to walk right into a quaint little village that you would never know what you would never go there otherwise.
Right.
And you get there and it's just like this opening up of America. And I saw that on the Pinhoti, on the Great Eastern, and certainly on the North Country Trail. And it's something that's attractive to me because I never set out to create America's next biggest thru hike, longest thru hike. You know, like Kenny mentioned, well, your trail is longer than ours, but that wasn't the intention. The intention is, in order to make that kind of connection, it requires that kind of length. You know, if we were that size of Germany, it would be way smaller. But this is the United States. So, yeah.
So true. So who designs the trail then? Are you going to put it back to the communities or?
Yeah. Okay. So that's a great question about design. And like, I look at this very much in a geometrical aspect of when I vision it in my mind and when I'm actually mapping it. So I mentioned a little bit earlier about the mapping process. I am working with a cartographer, geographer. And, my idea there is to make something that is comprehensive, has a clear vision, and is something lucid. And that, to me, is like making it more concrete on a map. And this is what I've heard feedback from all around the country, is that it's great if this is a concept that lives in your mind and something that you hiked through, but we want something more concrete there. So then I have to like see what's comprehensive and coherent that makes sense in that design. Then there's like a process of going through quality control. There will be licensing around the map. The question is the licensing open sourced or not? And, this is maybe something these guys can talk to about, because there's pros and cons of having the open source. You don't want to put out bad information, but you want more information.
I think that's I'll try to touch on it. Our GIS specialist is going to probably yell at me if he watches this. But, it's something that we do provide. We provide free downloadable PDF maps that you can print right off from home. You can put them on the Avenza app and follow your little blue dot around on your phone if you want. And it's different across all of our states, really, because Michigan doesn't have an affiliate, but we have affiliates like the Buckeye Trail Association, the Superior Hiking Trail Association, which do provide their own maps, which are great. And that's what they source off of. But we chose to go more of the free route, just to provide that access to all, and that they can use. I mean, like I said, you can print them right off from home. You can put them on your Avenza app. But then we're also, that open source data too is something that we're just diving into. We used to do the here's a water source, but we're 4,800 miles long, and we now finally have, I think, 17 staff across all those states. And so when we're first starting, when we had those water sources, it was just a handful of people. There's no way we can keep up with that. And so we actually backtracked on that and are now going with, man, it's not Gut Hook anymore.
Far Out.
Far Out. Thank you. Are now establishing a relationship with Far Out. And we think that's going to be kind of like our open source data, where hikers can input on, things like water source or sections of trail that are currently down right now, or, provide that information to
where they could comment on timeline type thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a big a difference there between the open source. When I think of open source, I think where users can upload or alter or change the route. That's dangerous to me, because we have some of that. I don't want to name any names, but there's some maps out there that if you follow those, the free open source ones, you're going to get lost on the Pinhoti. Some people did it wrong. They uploaded it, and people try to follow it, and we get calls every month about, I don't know where I'm at, and so I bet you use that one app. Yep. So the open source is dangerous in that sense, but I like the idea of the comments, where people can leave comments and give updates on those points, but you control the actual data on maybe reroutes or whatever. You can control that map.
Yeah, not even necessarily even open source anymore, but if you think of something like Google Maps, there'll be spots on there. Well, you'll see the North Country Trail on it, and you're like, well, that's not the route. But it's
right.
So many users are using Google Maps. Something simple as that. So yeah, I could never, never say never, but see ourselves going to that type of open source where they can change the route. That's something that we do probably annual, maybe twice a year if there's a significant change. But we do want to control that aspect of it.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that the hiker experience and the user experience is going to be so important, and you want to have that right criteria for them to follow along, right? If you're going to follow a map that's not fully completed or it's aired in some way, I mean, that's not a great first experience of the American Perimeter Trail or the Pinhoti or the NCT. You know what I mean? You want it to be correct.
And I'm not going to speak for them, but you know, this is a big conversation with the Hayduke Trail right now too, where remember the idea is conservation, and so having maps. I mean, okay, I don't want to be a hypocrite here because obviously I just did the APT, but it's not really responsible as far as safety or just responsible to the land and to the flora and the fauna to be bringing people through routes that they may be sensitive. They may just be environmentally sensitive places. Or they may be places that are still maybe aren't ready for that kind of traffic or should never really have that kind of traffic. And, you know, the dangerous parts, the APT goes through the Southwest. So that's a conversation I've been having with the geographer, with several people for, you know, over 2 years now. And the app companies and people have contacted me for the information is like, I'm not sending people into their death. Like,
right.
I'm not, I mean, I had a hard enough time down there in Death Valley in Southern California and some Arizona and stuff. So, you know, there's a responsibility piece there, both to the environment, but to the people, which I don't delineate those two interests of really being different.
Okay. Agreed. So when we have the American Perimeter Trail, it's going to kind of overlap or kind of utilize some of the existing trails there. How are we marking the American Perimeter Trail?
Okay. Good question, darling.
Okay.
Are we going to use my beautiful purple shirt?
Well, this would be, this is I'll let these guys speak for like their process and what they've gone through.
Right.
So everything that we've done with the American Perimeter Trail, I'll just give you an example, okay, of how we are trying to do things in maybe not new as in we invented them, but just try to be innovative because we have to right now simply based on, well, it's not that we have to, but I mean, our resources kind of demanded of us. It demanded it of me the entire time I was out there to come up with creative solutions to really difficult issues like a pandemic and closed trails. And how do you resupply and live out there in an ethical and safe way and not have all your contributors drop you and all of your sponsors just cut you off.
Right.
So one example I can give is like, there's another trail organization contacted me and made some comments about, they were concerned about how much red tape and like effort it goes through, for instance, to like put up a sign. Okay. And I told them I already had, but I understood what they were saying is it takes a lot. You can't just go putting up signs places.
Right.
So I've already made a bunch of signs, lots of them, and they're in place, but they're digital.
Oh.
And I just circumnavigated that issue by just trying to come up with some creativity. I don't come up with all these ideas, I look for them, but really this old idea of like everything has got to have like a wooden sign everywhere for something, any trail, it doesn't have to be the American Perimeter Trail, any trail of any length is going to run into issues with signage or markings. So what I can do to answer your question right now is I'm going to mark it digitally first. And then after that, I'm hoping that that's going to actually be a question for our members. Don't hold me to it, but this is my idea because so we're a conference. So when we actually have the physical conference, that may be an initiative we could put up to see what people would like. Now,
like
of course, when we share footbed,
yes,
like for instance, we're sharing footbed with the Continental Divide Trail as well. Like that's a conversation. But I'm talking about areas where, like, we get to make the solid decision there.
That's cool.
So, and I don't know what the challenges have been. Like, it's different from each state and it's different from each land management agency. So I don't know what you guys have to say.
For us, it's relationships with the landowners, which we work real closely with the National Forest, with the State Forest, and with some private conservation organizations that purchase land for the Pinhoti, and some other state lands like Forever Wild down here in Alabama. Those relationships are key. We have found with that, we also have relationships with DOT. It's not as difficult on the county and state roads. The federal roads are harder nut to crack, but with those relationships in place, it's we found it to be pretty easy. And once you get that local or even the state level involved and excited about the economic impacts that this recreation will bring to the area, it's an easy conversation.
Is it more of a hybrid, like kind of a hybrid collaboration between everybody then?
Well, it depends on who owns the land, right? And then what level is that road? If you're wanting to put it on a road in the right of way, who owns that road? So it really comes down to that right of way owner, or if you're putting it on the property itself, who owns that property, and just establishing and keeping those relationships. And we do a lot of maintenance on their land for them, so that helps a lot. So those kind of keeps that relationship moving back and forth.
That was a question of who kind of maintains like the trails and stuff like that. I'm like, we've hiked a lot of the NCT, and you've seen people who are like, a group, for example, will have 4 miles or whatever it is that they, look after. And I think that's
kind of like an adopt a highway kind of program.
Adopt a highway, exactly. Yeah. Right, exactly.
Well, we on the Pinhoti, we have some of the best volunteers that you'll ever find. I'll put them up against anybody. We
bring it, Nathan.
That's right, Nathan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but they're really great. We'll put a note out there, a post on the we have a private Facebook page like, hey, there's a blowdown at mile so and so, and literally within that afternoon, or there'll be a rush to see who can get to it first and just clear it out and keep the trails open. So it's we have a great volunteer, and for the Pinhoti, it's all volunteer like most trails,
right?
And with those relationships with the landowners, yeah.
That's amazing. Well, we had 80 plus blowdowns on our hike this past weekend. It was crazy. But anyway,
they weren't all big trees.
No,
man. She's counting stuff like
it doesn't matter. They covered
too.
The trail. It was all good. But he did his own trail maintenance too. But like, what makes a really great hiking trail? Like, what is a good hiking trail?
What's the criteria?
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, compared to like what's a poor hiking trail? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I don't know. A hiking trail.
The number one word that comes to my mind is sustainability.
Okay.
If you're talking about the physical characteristics of the trail itself, I think Rue touched on it. Those sensitive areas, all that. Erosion, water is obviously your number one enemy. But yeah, if you're talking physical trail, you want to try to make it as sustainable as possible, and that just matters of how much use is getting in it. And then just the area that it's in. So that's the first word that pops into my mind when you ask that.
Yeah, just no one wants to walk in a trough, and no one wants sediment from a trough running into the local stream that people fish in.
No.
So we have to share those areas. So I think what Kenny mentioned there is so important, using appropriate trail technologies. And you'll see, you can go to many places around the country and see where, this is when you get an eye for it, like, this is a really great constructed trail here, and oops, like they lost their trail here, and like I said, it's greater impacts. It's not just the hiker, it's being responsible to the land. So yeah, that's what, when we're talking about the actual footbed, as far as the greater experience, one thing that comes to mind on my hike is safety. And I mentioned it a little bit. I mentioned it a little bit already. Now, when I talk about the safety, I'm not just talking about the heat because you're going through so much desert, but also there's no water. You just have to be able to find water. It can be done, like you can do it. But like, how do we going forward? How does that work? The Continental Divide Trail has figured it out. The Arizona Trail has figured it out. But there's another thing that I would like to mention here too, and that is whether the local community wants hikers or backpackers there when constructing a trail. Now, we've been contacted by many different places saying, please bring the trail here as opposed to there. It's great. It makes me feel good. They're touching a little bit on what Nathan said about like maybe local economic value to a certain community. I had people like buy me dinner because they were like, you're going to bring the trail here, right? And I was like, I don't know if a dinner is going to get it done, but like, I'm not for sale. I one time I had someone try to pick up my resupply at a store, and I appreciated it, but like, again, like I'm not getting bribed here, but just really they just had a very small community, and they want desperately to have something like this come to their community. But with that being said, there's other communities that aren't going to be interested in this.
Right.
And so, and then there's certain places that just aren't. I told you about redoing some of the trail. I got too close to the border for too long. It's okay to hike into the border on the Pacific Crest Trail or the Continental Divide Trail. On these different trails, it's okay to do that, but to follow it for 1,000 miles or so, what kind of experience do you want people to have there? Even if they're not, even if they're not in the greatest danger, what is their kind of stress level? Like, what kind of recreation is that? If you're, it's not you like challenging yourself against maybe like the geographical environment. It's like more conflict with people. So, so these are things that come to my mind as well, as that are like a greater part of the experience.
Yeah. What do you think is the best trail, all three of you, that you've hiked on or worked on, like in a maintenance kind of form, that you can bring to the American Perimeter Trail?
I'm interested in what these guys have to say.
Yeah. Right?
Are we going to be biased?
That's the easy answer. If Kenny would come down to Alabama, he'd know the answer too.
Oh, I like that, Nathan. Good job. Good job. Okay. So obviously the Pinhoti, that's it.
Well, I'm partial to it, obviously. I have not had the chance to be on the North Country Trail. I've hiked the AT, and I tell you what, the Pinhoti, it holds up to the AT. It's Rue can tell you, it's a beautiful trail. You're in the mountains. Even a lot of people don't realize Alabama has mountains. It's a great trail, and the communities here, like Rue touched on the communities. We have great communities around the trail, and they are very excited about the growth of the Pinhoti. I mean, the Pinhoti's 40-something years old, but it feels like it's 5 or 6 years old because of the recent growth of it and the popularity. And Gut Hook Far Out had a lot to do with that, and some social media hikers did as well. So the growth is new, and the communities have really caught on, and it's great to see hikers come from all over and ask questions, and the communities just jump in and just they pour on these hikers, and they buy them dinners, like Rue said. They help them out. So it's
sure.
It's pretty neat experience on the Pinhoti.
What is the actual what's the high elevation up there in the mountains down there?
Well, it's nothing to write home about, right? Our highest point in Alabama is like 2,600 feet.
It's still a climb.
It's still up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, you got to climb, and we don't do a lot of switchbacks. We make you feel it, right? So
Oh, come on.
you get to feel it.
Turn and burn, darling.
Get the Stairmaster
That's
going,
right.
right?
You got to get it. That's right.
Yay. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, you call it the Stairway to Heaven, right?
That's right. We got a climbing Cheehaw from the south side going up. We call that the Stairway to Heaven. It's a boulder, almost like a boulder scramble straight up, and it's fun.
It's very fun. It doesn't feel like heaven though.
Yeah. No.
So Kenny, so Nathan, your best trail was definitely Pinhoti, and then you're going to bring like community and all that wonderful stuff forward to the American Primitive Trail. What about you, Kenny?
Well, yeah, I feel like might be similar, Nathan. Our trails, we're about the same age. Sounds like, I think we just celebrated our 40th birthday a couple of years ago.
Oh.
And we are obviously not as well known as some of the other national scenic trails, the AT, CDT, and Pacific Crest top 3. But we also, I think, provide a different experience than a lot of those other trails. And whatever we decide the APT uses or doesn't uses of the NCT, that's not obviously my decision. I just, like I said, I cover the state of Michigan. That's it. But we do provide that. We talk about community has come up a lot. That's what our trail is. We don't follow a geographical feature. We literally just connect communities. We have that forest experience. We have farmland experience. We have grassland experience out in North Dakota. Mountains out in Vermont and New York now too. And it's just it's a different type of trail, and that's what we are proud about. We're not a long distance hiking trail. Obviously we are, but 40 years old, we don't necessarily keep track of how many people have done the entire trail, but one long distance hiker who's crazy enough to be doing it twice now, she does, and I believe we're in our mid upper 20s. So if you compare that to the AT, it's not even obviously
right? Yeah.
There's 20 people thinking about doing the AT right now as we speak.
Easily.
So, we just give it a whole different experience, and we love connecting those communities, and we have different trail towns too across the trail that really embrace that too. We want to try to highlight them more. We're still kind of young in that trail town experience, but how do we embrace them as a community more to bring more hikers in? Not necessarily to do the whole entire trail, but to do those one-day backpacking trips, those overnight weekend backpacking trips. The thing that you guys just did, was probably 3-4 nights. That's more of our highlight, and I think that's what makes us special.
Which is a good question for that. Why isn't there no blue blazes on the Pictured Rocks Trail?
I didn't get to touch on the blazing part, but it's the signage part. It's different wherever you go. It's unique. And that one's really unique because we're federally mandated by the National Park Service.
Up
and
there, yeah.
One of the few sites that is on National Park Service land is at Pictured Rocks. And so, but they don't allow our standard blazing, which is our 2x6 inch, about the size of a $1 bill, blue blaze. And that's predominantly all across the trail for all 4,800 miles of how you know where to go.
Right.
Whereas Pictured Rocks, it might be a sign here or there with our emblem on it, but
they got 4x4 posts in key areas and with the actual NCT logo.
But,
so but when you're going in the fall like we did, that trail can totally disappear with all those leaves easily.
It did for sure.
So good luck blazing 11,000 plus miles or signing out.
That's what I mean. So what resources are out there, do you know what I mean, that are going to assist in building the trail? Like what resources are out there? Like how
We got to get volunteers.
Is it volunteers? Is it back at the community again? Like, it's the funny thing was Rue, that you said you hardly didn't see any people with pandemic, but the American Perimeter Trail is all about people.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of out of my hands. So we built a virtual community,
right?
And so we have people, and I've lost track of how many states now.
Okay,
maybe 30 some states. I don't know. I was impressed by the states that we have a lot of members in that the trail isn't going to come through their state, and they know it, and they're not lobbying us for it, but they're still members because they just like it and they want to go visit it someday,
which is awesome.
Which is fantastic.
And we have like we have people that are in other countries that are members that are not backpackers. They've never been here and they're not coming here to backpack, but they're wonderful. I mean, it's all kinds of folks, and that's why, we're not curtailed to like the through hiker or the distance hiker, because it's about people that want to just enjoy the experience, maybe from afar. Maybe they just want to have a picnic, and I want to use the word just.
Sure,
this is how I enjoy the outdoors too. So,
right.
But as far as like when you're asking about the resources, I'll speak about that in a very general way, because also like specifically there's a lot of stuff here in the works that, I'm like releasing as much as we go along as I can. But there's some places in this country that do not have a long trail. Texas has the Lone Star Trail, which is 100 miles. We'd like to partner with them in expanding that because they're looking to expand as well. Louisiana and Mississippi, I did a lot of like hopping from one national forest to another national forest to another public land to another public land. And so like the route I was using kind of connects those as best as I could. But I think the full message here that I want to get across is that it's not going to be me building the Texas Trail. It's not going to be me building the Louisiana or the Mississippi Trail. Texans are going to build the Texas Trail because they want to. They're actually the biggest number of our membership right now is from Texas.
Wow.
Because not because there's a trail there to maintain, because there's not a trail there to maintain. We're seeing the same thing in Louisiana and Mississippi, not because there is a trail there to maintain, but because there isn't one. They would like to have their state trail. So this is very much like a regional exploration into what is the will of the people of these areas. I think there was an upshoot in people wanting to connect with nature and the outdoors after and during the pandemic. And I think that's going to continue on through the next generation. So it'll be real interesting to see what people come up with, because this idea of like previously many, many decades ago, Tennessee Valley Authority, like building dams, if they needed to build a dam, they just put the town underwater. It's like, it's not the way things work anymore, nor should they. People are well organized now and have a say in what happens in their communities. If they don't have an entity, then they build one, then they form one that can advocate for what they want to be done with those areas. So when you talk about resources, Nathan mentioned like the land management agency and who that is, who's managing that land. And then obviously you're going to look to find conservation organizations that are protecting flora and fauna and the communities that have that in mind. But when it comes down to it, like I said, these states where there's a long section of trail that needs to be constructed, that's going to be input from the people who are there, and not just me. I'm one person. I have ideas. I sometimes fool myself and think my ideas are the best, but the more that I get to have conversations like we're having tonight, I realize that that's not the case. And And so, so that's, us building our membership has been able to start this process of getting people connected in that way.
Agreed.
All right, the APT community pockets going, taking this pocket and this pocket and putting it together. And this comes over here.
And I feel like, I mean, obviously we don't have a beginning and an end because it's an infinite loop.
That's right. You never will.
Where's Trail Days going to be?
Well, well, we're going to have the conference first.
Right.
So wherever, I've looked at some places for the conference. So maybe wherever that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that'll be an annual thing. But if you're out there listening tonight and you do have an APT relationship, let me know, because I'd love to hear. I can't wait for the first APT baby. And what I mean by that is like someone who lives like in this state, but then they're at this like trail event, and not that things happen there. That's not what I meant. Hold on a second.
All right.
That's not exactly what I meant. I meant maybe there'd be some courting from the conference.
Right, for sure. You have a question?
No, there's a question in the chat that was asked a while ago from was it Atterbury? It was a question for Nathan, but I could go to everybody. How do you motivate people to volunteer and get involved to support the organization financially?
Oh, financially. Oh, that's a good question. We break our organization down in chapters throughout the state. And obviously we have a couple of good chapters that do well. We have some chapters that don't, depending on where they are in the state and what they have. Because people like to see something and be able to take part of something. Like our local chapter here is Flag Mountain chapter. And obviously, I don't know if you've heard of Flag Mountain. It's the beginning of the Pinhoti Trail. It's also the first Appalachian mountain in the South to reach 1,000 foot. So it's significant in that regard as well. But it was an old CCC camp built there. So there's a rock tower that's just been renovated by the state to get it back up to code so you can climb the tower now. It's a beautiful mountain, lots of things to offer. So we get a lot of community involvement there. We get a lot of visitors from all over to come visit. And we generate a lot of donations through that. We actually have a relationship with the state forestry who owns that mountain to caretake, maintain, and run the mountain. And we're able to rent out the cabins and hold events, whether it be fundraiser events or just social events up there, which helps a lot. But, just it's education, really. When people learn about what you're doing and how difficult it is and what it really takes to maintain a trail, it's, a couple bucks here and there, it's not as hard to get out of. And if you go out and hike and you realize, okay, that was a great hike. I didn't have to climb over trees all whole time. And you realize how much work was done. It's
it's you're hiking all those miles into those locations. Someone's got to carry that chainsaw and the gas to run that thing.
And who's bringing the bear box in? Like, come on. Right? Like that blows my mind every time we get to a campsite or on the NCT we just did, they just rebuilt like a 84-step staircase, and they're like
out of 4x4s and 4x6s.
And I was like, who was bringing this stuff in? It's crazy. And we love that.
Yeah. We have a guy that's a volunteer for us for years. He's hiked the Alabama section of the Pinhoti 20 times, 18 of that with a chainsaw or weed eater. He's always carrying something.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, and
the ones that you want.
And when you realize how difficult it is, it is difficult. It's a lot of hard work. Of course, it gets hot down here in Alabama, so we operate about 9 months out of the year. We close in the summer. It just gets too bad. But to answer the question, how do we motivate? We don't. We threaten. If you want to hike, somebody's got to maintain it.
The Alabama way. I like it.
That's
I like
right.
it.
No.
Well, here you go. Here's a follow-up.
Oh my gosh.
They threw in there follow-up question. What kickstarted the growth you mentioned 5 or 6 years ago? What changed in your strategy, or was in more organic growth?
Well, that's a great question. So I can pinpoint it to 3, maybe 4 major things that happened or and continue to happen for the trail. One, there was a social media YouTuber by the name of Darwin who hiked.
Yep.
This was before Gut Hook released the trail, and when he released his videos, that we saw a very huge uptick in hikers showing up to the Pinhoti. So he was a very influential person for the Pinhoti. To this day, I get people, yeah, I saw Darwin's video. Like, oh wow, that's awesome. And then shortly after that, Gut Hook released the app, the Pinhoti on their app. So that was another huge bump, bang, another spike and we still get that. A lot of people say, oh, I just scroll through far out and I look for a trail that I can do in a month, or I can do in the wintertime, the winter trail. We're a great winter trail. So that was another one. Dixie hiked it in 2020, end of 2020, into 21. So that was another bump. And then Nimblewell Nomad, when he was living on Flag Mountain, and his Bama to Baxter hike last year, he started at Flag and went to Katahdin and promoted the Pinhoti the whole way. That was a huge bump for us as well. So that's where it really came from. And, we saw the need at the very beginning of that when Gut Hook was coming out. We saw the need that the Pinhoti just didn't have many resources for hikers. So, our passion for hikers and for the Pinhoti itself was that's where we stepped in and opened the Pinhoti Outdoor Center to help with that, fill that gap.
Right. Is that the same with the NCT, you think, too, then, Kenny? Like, are you seeing a lot of like Instagram stuff and people making TikTok videos and everything else? And
I'm the last person you should bring that up with, because I don't have any of that social media stuff, though.
Yeah,
that's kind of a joke around our office. But no, I think it is. It's a sense of, I think. So I mentioned we have 17 staff now across all 8 states, and thinking about that's still a super low number. But I started 7 years ago and we had 11, and our marketer communications person was half-time. Most people were part-time. So now we're able to, because of this new growth in our NCTA, North Country Trail Association community, able to bring on people full-time to spread the word about NCT. And I think specifically one program that we were able to do and that we can point back to and that we continue to do because it's been so great is our Hike 100 challenge. That was right when I started. So 7 years ago, we started it as it was a celebration of our Park Service turning 100 years old.
Yep.
Hike 100 miles. You can hike any 100 miles in total of the North Country Trail. You can do the same mile back and forth, 100 times. We don't care. And we just got so many more people just participating in that, and not even they don't even have to finish. You just sign up, and you might be able to get a nice giveaway or something. But so many people finishing, and then the stories that we heard from those people that are participating, that was the big thing that I don't know if we expected. Just the positive feedback of how this helped with their mental health, their physical situation, got their family out involved. It was just so overwhelming on a positive note that we're like, well, let's do it again. And then same thing the next year. And so we've been doing it now for 7 years. And I think that is one program that we can pinpoint, go back on and be like, we're growing because of coming up with that.
And they're beautiful unintended outcomes. Mm-hmm. You don't expect to hear those beautiful things at the end. You just thought, hey, it was a great hike. Not like, hey, my mental health improved. Yeah. I lost weight, or I got to clear my mind, or whatever it was. So those outcomes are the ones.
There's something to be said about getting your feet dirty.
Right. So we do have one more question, but let's do our giveaway. Can we do our giveaway?
Sure.
Let's do that. And then we do have one more question for everybody, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So
Nathan, I was just disappointed. I was on the Pinhoti the first time 18 years ago. I think maybe that's what bumped you,
Yeah. Oh, well, you're right. You didn't post many videos though.
I didn't post any.
Oh, stop. All right.
Okay, so for everybody that's in the chat, so to participate in our giveaway today, all you have to do is put APT, all in caps, in the chat.
That's easy.
We'll wait like a few minutes here. So APT, that's it.
Right. So we've got APT stickers and patch. We've got NCT stickers, Pinhoti Outdoor Center stickers and patch. So yeah. So we're going to do a little McWick giveaway and a little KK sticker as well. We'll throw that in there. So we can throw our patch in too.
There are. Yep. We got our patch.
Let's do that as well.
Oh, we'll throw in I think we have a McWick skull cap.
Okay, let's do that. Perfect.
All right.
Oh, I like it.
All right, come on, baby.
All right, everybody go. Tangent Trail saying so Tangent Trails actually just said too that he was just mentioning Constantine and Magpie, who are 11 Skies, right? And obviously you know them, Kenny, because they hike the North Country Trail all the way through. We had them on the show last year as well. And
nice couple.
Very nice. And again, everything has now come down to community and people. And it's blowing my mind.
Which is really cool. So I don't know how much you all know, but Colleen and I are working on buying property and moving up to the Upper Peninsula.
We are.
And one of the towns, we were like talking what we do and talking about our channel and stuff like that, and we did mention that we wanted to be near an ORV trail or a hiking trail, stuff like that. And we mentioned the American Perimeter Trail, and I said, oh gosh, we would love that to come through the town, like you mentioned earlier, Rue, about those communities wanting the trail to come through to build. Take this little small town and build it up. I mean, the town was looking to have like, they were having they wanted to be on the international circuit for disc golf. And I was like, they have a trout tournament. And it's like, they would love to have the APT come through there too. And it's like, well, we'll work on it.
Right.
All you got to do is buy Rue dinner.
That's right. I know, right? Exactly. All right. We got a lot of APTs, honey. What do we got?
Okay. All right. Hold on one second.
Actually, also on that note too, Rue,
hashtag
there is one shelter, right?
Yeah. So, and I am possibly going there this week. I haven't been there yet.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Is it Buck? Yes, that's correct. Buck and Jenny.
Yeah.
And so that may be in the works. I've been invited, so we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see how that all works out. But the the North Country Trail. I'm trying to think. I don't remember. There's not a lot of shelter areas.
No.
And then, but the Pinhoti has a couple.
No, that's not that.
I don't think like we'd ever be interested in like dotting the whole thing with shelters, because I don't think that's what people are going to want. But we do have one APT shelter that is.
I think it's awesome.
It's just a couple miles probably from where Kenny is right now.
Yeah.
So
that's a cool one too. I mean, it's very unique, and
isn't it a corn bin or a grain bin or something?
It's an old site, grain silo.
Yeah, I think it's so cool.
That's why it's called bin walking.
Bin walking.
Yeah,
that's it. Right.
And I just let them disclose where it is and invite people and stuff. We like the pictures and stuff, but I'm not giving like people all the information.
No.
As they want to disclose it, because it is on their private property.
It's
right off the NCT. It's right off the North Country Trail, but it is on their private.
Awesome.
I love it. That's so cool. All right, who wants a sticker and some stuff?
Let's
go. What do we got? Go.
All right, so we got 11 entries.
Only 11. There's like 22 people in there. That's all right.
All right, that's all. So let's hit our draw. Let's see who wins. And the winner is
Claudia.
Claudia. Hey, Claudia. Hi.
Beautiful.
Yeah, one of our community members. Again, I haven't got to meet yet, but I look forward to. So
beautiful.
Awesome.
Well, congrats, Claudia.
So do us a favor. And on our Instagram, we'll just do it at the Instagram.
Or you might not have. You can just shoot us a little email. That's always best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Email will be the best, I think. Yeah. Go to let me just get rid of this.
She's like, hey. Yay. I love it. That's so fun.
Send your contact information to keelquest@gmail.com.
Right on.
And then we will forward it along, and everybody will get you
all your fun swag. Love it,
yes.
Love it. So a couple more questions. So one is, I know we've tried
one
not
more
to.
Question.
I know. I have two things. So one is, how important is it having a scenic trail designation? Like the NCT is a scenic trail, right? So Pinhoti is not a scenic trail, right? So I don't even know what it is. But are you trying
about? You're out in the woods.
No. But having that designation, like people, you know what I mean? Like, is that something that the American Perimeter Trail is trying to get?
So I'll just jump in here real quick, and then I'll let these guys go because they can talk about this. So we've got we got North Country National Scenic Trail, and then we've got Pinhoti, which is a national recreational trail.
Got it. Okay.
And so like we discussed this at the APT. I just had a conversation with one of our board members about this the other day. So though you'll see press and you'll see things from us saying like, we're definitely headed towards this kind of determination or designation rather. Yeah. That's not necessarily true. We will do what is best for our community and for our trail. Okay. And it's not a one glove fits all kind of thing. So then I'll let these guys kind of talk about it.
Yeah, if you want federal oversight, I mean, you can be a national scenic trail.
Exactly.
I was like, right. Some on you all the time then.
Right.
No, that's not. I'm not bad mouthing that.
It's part of it.
It is part of it, and it's dumb and it's difficult. We spent, I don't have the exact years, but roughly, we've been around for 42 years now. I think we spent like 30 some of that trying to get the Superior Hiking Trail and the extension into Vermont using the Long Trail officially part of the North Country Trail. And, already being a National Scenic Trail, it took us that long. We just finally did it in 2019.
Whoa.
To try to get two sections of what we consider would be obvious choices, officially part of the North Country National Scenic Trail, just because you need that congressional designation. And so that's an act of Congress.
Jeez.
They're not that fast to move, obviously. So I mean, that's just one aspect of trying to become an entire National Scenic Trail. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough conversation for us. I mean, there's pros and cons, obviously. And to be more accurate, the Pinhoti, there's a very small portion of the Pinhoti that's National Recreational Trail. It's not all of it. And it's a small portion in Alabama. And there, I think there's a couple of schools of thought. One, I think, is the most popular, is we would go after the full National Recreational Trail status. But I don't know if that's we don't know if it's needed, what benefits we would get from it. We don't know all those pros and cons yet. So, those conversations are happening at state level and local levels. And, I'd love to maybe sit down with you, Kenny, and talk through some things as well, since you got some of that experience.
Interesting.
But yeah, that would be good to kick some ideas around.
And there can be just kind of excitement around it, feeling like it's some sort of trophy, but it's real important, not just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah, that's right. And maybe 20 years ago, when it was harder to communicate what you had, it was more important. I don't know. Maybe there's some other things that we can gain out of it, but we feel like the advertisement or, the marketing, so to speak, of the trail through social media, through apps or what have you, we're doing great as far as that's concerned. So I don't know. We'd have to really think through that, but obviously there's benefits from it.
Right.
I think it's something special. You know, it's obviously something special to be a National Scenic Trail. We're obviously proud of that. But we also use other people's trails. You know, it's that footbed conversation that Rue talked about earlier. And it's okay. I mean, we use community pathways, other trails that have been there. We have affiliates in other states, Ohio, New York, and Minnesota. And we're proud of that as well. And then they become part of that National Scenic Trail, whereas they may not be designated National Scenic Trail themselves, but they get to be part of that too. So, and we get to be part of their trail as well. So it's a co-relationship there.
I like it.
I like it.
I know, I do too. So how can we help everybody? How can we help? What's the easiest way that we can help the APT, the Pinhoti, the NCT kind of get all this stuff rolling? What's the best way?
Aren't you guys doing it right now?
Yeah. This kind of stuff's huge. I mean, with Rue bringing a trail like this together and hooking all these trails together I think it's wonderful. It's great. As far as specific to the Pinhoti, you know, and how to, we have two main organizations in the state that really help and focus on the Pinhoti. We have the Alabama Pinhoti Trail Association, which is a nonprofit that only maintains and works on the Pinhoti. And then our organization, the Alabama Hiking Trail Society, we work all throughout the state. But both of those are nonprofit 501c3s that can be donated to. And then, you know, time, money, whatever. We're in the middle of building new trail right now. This week is a work week for us. We have the Conservation Fund purchased another 800 acres for the Pinhoti, and we're moving another 4 miles off the road, getting it in the woods. So it's just really fantastic.
I just got goosebumps again.
Yeah, we did another 1,000 acres back in September. We moved about four more miles off the road. So we're steadily moving road walk off, working with those conservation funds like we talked about. They're key in working with those entities and the foresters and laying out the trail and going in and setting it in a sustainable way.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's awesome. So just for anybody's information, I put information on how to get a hold of the Pinhoti, the NCT, American Perimeter Trail, and the Wilderness Mindset in the chat. So everybody can go click on those links and go out and check it out and help out as you guys want to.
Awesome. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I guess I'll mention something here quick too. Is you know, you asked about volunteering earlier. Like, I'd never ask someone to do something I don't do. Okay. I mean, that's not necessarily true if they have a certain skill set. But as far as like the volunteers, I've dedicated lots of time over the years being part of other trail communities and volunteering. For us personally right now, we're trying to build the community and the membership. So that's probably the absolute best way, is someone become an annual member. I love that you guys are wearing your shirts.
Yeah.
Right. We're having, like, I was told to mention this. So anyways, we have a sale at the store until tomorrow night. So go check that stuff out. That's not necessarily going to support us. It more supports our community more than anything.
Okay.
But if you want to go there, I guess until tomorrow night, you can pick up some cool stuff for real cheap.
Okay, cool.
So, but right now, like, the membership is vital. So,
yep.
Agreed. And the awareness. So what's the takeaway from the Pinhoti and NCT side? So after this, you guys are going to go back, you know, to your group, and you're going to go, holy moly, the American Perimeter Trail's coming our way. Like, it's happening. What can we do? How can we get prepared? How can we assist them? How do we start?
Probably just keep doing what they're doing.
Well, I mean, Rue's coming. Sorry, Nathan. Rue's coming to Michigan, so right there, that's the easiest part. We finally get to meet them. We'll have talks with our executive director and director of trail operations too, as well. Like I said, I'm just the Michigan guy. I'm like the low person on that totem pole. So There you go. Yeah, I love it.
Oh, I never noticed your mug. Oh, right on. Oh, very good.
Yeah, we're excited to hear those conversations going and just to hear the overall conversation. We love the word community.
Right.
Bringing in those relationships. That's what we're all about. And so to hear the concept of more than just a long distance hiking trail, you know, that's neat. But the whole other concept and aspects of bringing it all together is what's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Awesome.
Nathan,
Yeah,
what do you back?
yeah, we're, you know, bringing this to the board, to the officers of our organization, and just getting folks to learn about it and excited about it, and maybe working with Rue on how to get across the west side of our state over to the Pinhoti, you know, how can we help with that as well? And yeah, there's a lot of opportunities there.
I'm excited.
No, really?
Yeah, I can't help it. I haven't stopped smiling the entire time,
Oh, no,
honestly.
I mean, we're members with the APT and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And we love hiking the NCT. So, yeah, we need to definitely do some more volunteering.
We do, and we will, absolutely. And I feel like it has been amazing tonight that you've all been able to join us and celebrate. Like today was a celebration, you know, like absolutely. How fun was it to get out and say, hey, you just completed 14,000 miles and connected those steps. Like that is just crazy.
Now, is it actually 14,000 or is it like more than 14,000?
The finished thing's going to be over 14. We're working on the map, so I honestly don't know.
Oh,
I know
it could be more.
It's somewhere between 13.5 and 14.3 or something. It's like, I don't want to be cavalier about this because I guess it doesn't matter that much to me, but it's like, I'll try to get you guys a number. I'm trying, but
I was just curious.
Yeah, can you say I'll never get one?
You never know.
Right.
I'll never know.
No, we say 4,800 now. Our language says 4,600. You know, and congressionally.
Oh yeah.
We started out at I think 3,700. If you ask Constantine and Magpie, they actually GPSed it. They have a totally different number. It's more than 4,800.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Nobody knows. So, and it's going to change too. You know, every time you make a little off-road movement there, your miles are going to rack up. So it's
lasso bringing people together.
So on that, Rue, if you make your mileage signs and you actually put a board up at a trailhead, a mileage sign, it's going to be since you don't have a real north and south terminus or east and west terminus. All your signs are going to say what 14,000 feet back miles back to this point.
What they're I'm gonna let honestly, like I'm gonna let that's great. Yes.
That's what I would do. I would just
restart.
Are you kidding?
I love that.
I'd be like, oh,
I love
right.
Can you imagine?
Oh yeah.
But why not? Right? Wow.
That's great.
You can start anywhere and end anywhere.
That's right. It's
That's right.
infinite. We keep saying that. The loop.
This is why Nathan and I are buddies.
Right on. Right on. Well, I'm excited to see what's going. Oh, look at that. People are signing up for membership right now. Awesome. Good job. Thank you for that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I know. Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you so much for hanging out and sharing what everyone's been up to. It's super awesome to meet you, Nathan, and Kenny as well. And reconnect again with Rue. We missed you, Layla, if she's still in the chat there.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah. So we missed Layla Grace, but it's been super fun. We're excited to be part of, the next chapter of everything.
Yes.
And so like I said, we knocked off some NCT this past weekend. And I'm feeling Alabama in the winter just might be a little go-to, honey. We'll talk about that backstage because I feel like I'm excited about that.
All right, darling.
And then Rue, if you're heading up this way, definitely we should connect. So excited. So thank you.
And also, hi Suzanne, another one of our board members.
Is Suzanne in the house too? Because she's lovely as well. Yeah. Hi. I think she goes by Cricket or something like that.
Yeah, we're working on the Connecticut Trail together. So exciting stuff. Just wanted to throw that in. But
that's amazing.
So good seeing everyone here tonight.
You had a lot there. Oh, she got a high. There you go.
Okay, good.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome.
All right, y'all. So we'll drop you down, and we're going to
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to just do a little quick outro.
Okay.
Thanks again, guys, for coming on.
Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right.
That was super cool.
The best. Panel discussions are fun.
Yeah, especially this kind of panel.
I know. It's a different dynamics. Everyone in the chat was going, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh yeah.
This live platform was great to hear all the input. So I agree. I think two things. One is obviously we're going to say community, people, fun. We've created excitement, right? Not we, but the excitement kind of around which has been going on.
We're just passing it along.
And yeah, and I feel like everyone's kind of met some new friends tonight too. So
totally.
I know. I love that.
So everybody still watching, all the links to the NCT, the Facebook page for the Pinhoti, the American Pyramid Trails website, and the Wilderness Mindset, the documentary that
the film crew
is doing.
Alex
has done
and
it is still doing with Rue.
Yeah, excited to
definitely
chat with
check
them
that
too,
out. That
for
was,
sure. They did a fabulous job.
I agree.
Absolutely incredible. So, if you love what you see, hang out with us. But just not next Thursday because we're going to Canada. So we're heading out again.
Gotta go
on.
Celebrate
we got a little
party.
Family celebration happening. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for learning more about the APT, the Pinhoti, the NCT. We all met some new friends tonight. Fun chat tonight. Everyone was really, really interactive and great, which is awesome.
We appreciate all one of you coming on and joining the chat
for
tonight.
sure. So
my mom was in the chat.
In 2 weeks, we are back at it again with our backcountry couple.
Yep.
And
stay tuned on the 14th for our announcement of who that'll be.
Right. That's right. I can't tell you. We're already lined up. We're busy until next year already, which is fantastic. So thanks again. And congrats to Claudia for winning our little giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
She got a nice little giveaway.
I know. I feel like it's pretty cool too. All right, everybody.
All right, y'all. Be safe. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you all for joining the quest.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, we will.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.
Cheers, guys.